Welcome to Piano Video Lessons, Year 1, Unit 3, Lesson 13. This is video number 45 in this series. If you're joining us on YouTube, please click the info card up here in the corner to come on over to pianovideolessons.com where you can find everything you need to follow along with us. So, today we're going to talk about sight reading. And sight reading is playing at sight. It's playing something that you've never seen before and doing it on the first try. So we only get to do it once. We don't get to do it repeatedly. When we're practicing a piece of music or a finger gym, we spend lots of time practicing it. But when we sight read, it's like when we read words. We want to do our decoding, our figuring out, before we read out loud. So if we were a young student in grade 1 or 2 in school and we had to read out loud for our class, we would take some time beforehand and figure out the words instead of reading them slowly. So if I was decoding this, I would maybe say each of these exercises begins on, see how I'm figuring this out as I go. This is not sight reading. This is decoding the words. Now, if I sight read this, I say each of these exercises begins on a guide note. And if I'm not as comfortable reading, I would read more slowly. Each of these exercises begins on a guide note. So when I'm reading music, it's the same thing. I want to do the decoding before I play. And I've been giving you all of the tools that you need to do this well. But it is a skill, and you do need to exercise this muscle in order to get better at it. So one of the things that I've put up here, just to remind you, in case you haven't been practicing your notes, I've just put up 6 notes here in the corner that are the landmark notes that you definitely need to know if you're going to figure out the rest of them. And they have treble C in the 3rd space, treble G on line 2, middle C in this middle range, and then middle C, bass F on 2nd line down, and bass C in the 3rd space down. So those notes will help you get started with this sight reading drill. And here we have the first exercise, and it ends right here. The double bar line tells us this is the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare ourselves. We're going to give ourselves as much help as possible before we play. We're not going to just start to play this. So let's look. 4 beats in a measure. Starts with 5 on this guide note treble C, and I'm looking to see what the pattern is, and I see that it's moving by steps until I get all the way down to my thumb, which holds for 4. And then same note, and it walks all the way up until my 5, which holds for 4. So I understand this now. I don't see anything here that's complicated. So I'm ready to play this, but I'm going to choose a tempo that's comfortable. So I'm going to start with my 5 on treble C, and I'm going to play this fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, I'm done. I can check it off. I never have to play that one again. If I play it again, it's not sight reading. It's repeating or practicing. So looking at the next one, I see that it begins on a guide note. It begins on bass C with my 5, and it's going to hold for 2 beats on C and then play it again. Then I see that it's a skip. So I'll skip to finger 3 here, and I'll play that again, holding for 2 each time. Then I see another space note. That's a skip again. It's going to play that note 3 times and hold, and then I see it returns to my guide note, C, which I have in place. So have a look at this line on your own, and then I want you to try to play it. So pause the video and play it yourself. And now I'm going to play it for you. If you haven't tried to play this yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice by listening to this next part, because the truth is, your ear will help guide you if you've heard it. You have to use your eyes to do this if you haven't heard it. So if you've never heard this before and you've already looked it over and done your decoding, you're ready to try to play it. and I'm now going to play it for you. So hopefully you've already played it. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you get it? If you had some trouble somewhere, go ahead and circle it so that you know what to decode better the next time. Okay, there are 3 more examples. Let's go through them the same way. Here's the bar line where it ends. It starts on line 2. If you want to look back, you'll see that that's guide note treble G, and it starts with finger 5. And looking at the pattern here, I see the 5 comes back again after I play the neighbor. So 5 neighbor, 5 neighbor, and then here I have middle C 4 times, and that would be played with finger 1. I know that. If my 5 is on G, my thumb reaches down to C. Then I'm going to go back to this note, and I've already played it here with my 5 on this G, so I'm now going to walk down each note and finish on C. So have a look at this, decode it for yourself, understand the patterns, and then go ahead and play it. Beginning with your 5 on treble G. Keep your beats steady when you play, and always try to keep your eyes moving ahead of what you're playing, looking at the next grouping. All right, so I'm going to play it now, and I'm just going to call attention. I'm putting my 5 on treble G. I'm going to grab this whole measure in my mind before I begin to play, and once I begin, I'm going to start looking ahead at the next measure. Here I go. I'm looking now at the 3rd measure. I'm looking here. Now I'm looking here. So I'm always pushing my eye ahead of what I'm playing because I've already done all of the analysis that I've needed to do and the decoding. Okay, I've done it. Great. How did you do? Hopefully you did well. Now we're on to this one. I see it starts with my 5 on bass clef F, and the F comes back here again. I've got 5 neighbor, 5 neighbor. Then I've got middle C, and I know that will be with my thumb because of the distance between bass F and middle C. Holding for 2, same note. Now here I'm going down. I know this easily. I hope you do too. It's back to F. And then I see another line note. This is a skip. And then I see another line note, another skip. So we have F, skip to A, skip to C. And when we were doing our intervals, we were practicing all of those distances and saying our alphabets forward and backward using our interval counting. So here we can think F, skip, skip, but we know it's F, A, C. We don't need to know the letter names, we just need to play them. Okay, so let's get started placing our 5 on F in the bass clef, and it's your turn first. Please pause the video. And now it's my turn. So here I go. Looking at this first group. Got it. Now I'm looking here. I've got it. Now I'm looking here. I've got it. Ooh, I didn't have it. I have a hard time playing and talking at the same time. We're all human, so I'm going to start again right here. And I'm looking here. 2, 3, 4. Notice I didn't start back here. If I was just sight reading this, I would not have made this mistake, but music, the language of music and the language of English sometimes don't make my brain work very well at the same time. So I started back here because if I went back, I was not sight reading anymore. I was then playing it through. All right, next one. I see it starts with 2. It repeats the 2, and then it plays a skip up. And these 2 measures are identical, so if I know this one, I know this one. So once I had my eye going, I probably would push to here as soon as I got this going. And then I have back to 2 and up a repeat, and up a neighbor, and a repeat, and up another neighbor. So what's the starting note? Bottom space is treble clef F. And, all right, it's your turn. Go ahead and play it. And now it's my turn. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking all the way ahead now. Now I've got that, and I'm looking at the last bar. 2, 3, 4. Very good. So it's important to make sure you're counting the beats properly. In measures like this, make sure you're holding for 2. Hold 2. Hold 2. because rhythm is as important as notes. When you're playing a piece of music, you have to make sure the notes and the rhythm are both understood and accurate. Excellent. Okay, join me in lesson 14, where we're going to learn a piece by Grieg called Morning from the Peer Gynt Symphony.